If the water in your home is moved by a DAB Esybox Mini 3 booster set, this video is for you. In 10 minutes you'll know how to read its display, what it is telling you, which button does what, and where the line is between what you can touch and what is our job. One warning first, and it matters. This video is about the Esybox Mini 3. On other DAB models the buttons and the display are different. If yours doesn't look like the one you're about to see, stop here and get the manual for your own. And a second warning, this one inside the Esybox Mini 3 itself, there are two different displays depending on the version it carries. The one you'll see here is the text display, with letters and numbers. The newer ones show the same things but with icons, the date and the wireless. So if your display doesn't look quite like this one, you haven't got the wrong video, it's the other version. The buttons are the same and it's handled the same way, so everything here still applies to you. Let's start with what you have in front of you. The manual calls it the keypad and the display, and it's three things: a liquid crystal display, 3 indicator lights, and 4 buttons in a row. 2 of them sit either side of the logo and the third, smaller one, in the middle of the button row. The 4 buttons are mode, set, and the 2 arrows, down and up. Each one does one thing, and always the same thing. Mode moves you forward, it goes to the next item inside whichever menu you are in. And if you hold it down for a second, instead of going forward it goes back to the previous one. With that one button you can walk a whole menu, both ways. Set is the way out. It leaves the menu you are in and, as it leaves, it saves whatever you changed. If you get lost inside the display, set is the button that brings you home. And the 2 arrows raise and lower whichever value is selected. Hold them down and the number runs on its own. After 3 seconds it runs faster. That helps when you have to move a pressure from 2.7 up to 3 and a bit. The 2 big ones, either side of the logo, tell you how the machine is without you having to read anything. The one on the left is the power light. Watch it, steady means the pump has power. But if you see it blinking, the machine is disabled, and we'll come back to that, because it's one of the most important things in this video. The one on the right is the alarm light, and that one is red on every model. Steady red means one very specific thing: the machine is blocked by an error. That's not a warning, it has stopped. Now the display itself. Without touching any button, what you see is the main page, and 4 values are always there: the status, the motor revolutions, the pressure, and the power it is drawing. The status is that short word at the top, and there are 3 you'll see day to day. GO, the motor is running. SB, the motor is stopped, which is normal when nobody has opened a tap. And DIS, the motor has been manually disabled. That third one should never appear by accident, and you're about to see why. As soon as you enter any menu, the bottom of the display turns into a fixed bar that follows you through every page. At a glance you get the status, the revolutions, and the pressure. It's there so you never get lost. Wherever you are, you always know what the pump is doing. And if the pump experiences an error that prevents it operating, the status changes to fault. That tells you straight away, on whichever menu page you are on, that the pump is blocked and cannot run. In the next video we cover what each code means. So we can read the display. Now, how to get in. The manual says each menu is reached by holding a combination of buttons for a set time. And the one you want is the easiest of the lot. You get into the user menu by pressing mode. No tricks, no holding. The manual says you're in on releasing the button. That is your menu, and you can't break anything in there. Keep pressing mode and 2 more come up that are worth recognizing. TE is the dissipator temperature, which is how hot the electronics are running inside. And SV is the supply voltage, which not every pump has. The manual says it is present only in some models. If it isn't there, that's normal. And there is one page that isn't a number but a drawing, PI, the power histogram. 5 bars, and each one tells you how long the pump has been running at that power level, as a percentage of the total. It shows you at a glance whether your pump is coasting or working flat out. And the last 2 are your pump's identity card. NT shows the network configuration, and VE the hardware version, the serial number and the MAC address. You will never need to touch those, but write them down. They are exactly what we'll ask you for on the phone if you call us with a fault. 2 more are yours. The monitor menu, with set and the down arrow for 2 seconds, that's where the language is. And the set point menu, with mode and set together, that's where the pressure is. Write those 2 down, they're the ones you'll use. There are 3 more menus in that table: manual, installer, and technical assistance. Those are not for the customer and we won't be explaining them here. One thing only, so you don't walk in by mistake, entering the manual menu forces the machine into stop. If you've lost your water after fiddling about, look there. And the first thing to do the moment you get in, before anything else, is to set it to your own language. Everything that comes afterwards, the warnings, the page names, you're going to read on that display, and if it's in another language it's no use to you. It's in the monitor menu, on the page marked LA, for language. You get in with set and the down arrow for 2 seconds. You find LA with mode, you pick with the arrows English is on the list and you leave with set, which is the one that saves. From then on the whole menu talks to you in English. And a small thing that saves you a scare, the display switches itself off after 2 minutes to save power. It isn't broken. Touch any button and it comes back. And in that same monitor menu there are 2 more display settings, in case you can't read it properly. The first is BK, the brightness. It adjusts the backlighting on a scale from 0 to 100. If your pump sits in a dark corner or the sun hits it, that's where you fix it. The other one is CT, the contrast. Careful with this one, because not every pump has it. The manual says pumps with firmware version 3-point-something don't carry it. If it isn't on your display, it isn't broken, your version just doesn't have it. And now the most important warning in this whole video, which is in section 4.6 of the manual and almost nobody knows. In normal operating conditions, pressing and then releasing both arrow keys blocks the motor. The pump stops delivering water. And this is what has people calling us thinking the pump has broken. That block is self-holding even after switching off. You can unplug it, wait, plug it back in, and it still won't give water. You spot it by 2 things, the power light blinking, and the word DIS on the display. It comes off the same way it went on, both arrows again. And look at the detail, because it is the same gesture doing 2 different jobs. If there was a fault, those 2 arrows reset it. If there wasn't one, they leave your pump stopped. The manual adds that this command works from almost any menu page. And while we're on buttons that do surprising things, there's one more worth knowing about, because this pump can be linked to others over wireless. From the main page, pressing the down arrow puts the machine into searching for other pumps to pair with. You spot it by the 3rd light, the small one in the middle. While it's searching, it flashes at regular intervals. And don't worry, this breaks nothing and it's easy to get out of. Set or mode leaves straight away, and if you touch nothing it comes out on its own after a minute. If you've never linked your pump to another one, you'll always see that light off, and that's normal. Linking pumps is an installation job, and that's ours. And while we're on that key, inside your menu there's a page with 2 water counters. One keeps the total the pump has delivered since day 1, and the other is a partial one you can reset yourself. You reset it right there, by holding down the down arrow for 2 seconds. Let's go into your menu now. the user menu. With mode you page through it and see how the machine is, the speed, the pressure, the flow, the power, the hours it has been running. It's all for looking at, not for touching. And inside that menu there is one page that will help you the day something goes wrong, the one marked FF, the fault and warning log. That's where the warnings the machine has given are stored, with the fault number and total count, and you walk them with the 2 arrows. 2 things about that list. It holds up to 64 warnings, and once it's full it overwrites the oldest ones. And mind this, that page doesn't reset anything, it only shows. The log doesn't clear by switching the machine off, clearing it is a technical assistance job, which means hours. The second thing you can change, and the one you'll notice most, the pressure. It's in the set point menu, on the page marked SP. You get in with mode and set together, you move it with the arrows and you leave with set. It comes from the factory at 2.7 bar, and it takes anything from 1 to 5.5. Worth understanding, the pump doesn't start the moment the pressure dips a little. It restarts when it falls below the one you set, -3/10 from the factory. Set 3 bar and it restarts at 2.7. That's why it sometimes seems slow. It isn't slow, it's waiting. And I'm telling you this because it saves us both a visit. The manual puts it like this: setting a pressure that is too high for what the pump can do may cause false water lack errors. In these cases, lower the set pressure. Before you call anybody, check what pressure you have set. That's your pump read, what the display says, what each button does, how to get into your menu, change the language and set the pressure. In the other video we go through the error codes, which ones only warn, which ones stop it, and what to do with each. Before we finish, 3 things that are in the manual and that you should know exist, even if they aren't for you to do. First, the pump leaves the factory with a set of values, and every time you change something it saves itself. And it can be put back the way it left the factory. Switch it off, wait for the display to go out completely, hold down set and the up arrow, and switch the power on, let go only when EE appears. But read this bit, it wipes everything, including your pressure and your language, and it has to be set up again from scratch. If you don't know what was in there, don't do it, call us. Second, the pump comes with a small metal hexagonal key. Don't throw it away. It turns the interface panel and opens the door of the maintenance compartment. If you lose it, a standard 2mm hex key will do. And third, the important one, this pump has an expansion vessel inside with pressurized air in it. That air has to be checked and adjusted from time to time, and it's what fails most over the years. You reach its valve by removing the maintenance door with the key we just mentioned. If the pump starts and stops over and over when you open a tap, or you hear banging in the pipes, most of the time it's that air which has escaped. That isn't a big breakdown, it's maintenance. But it isn't for you to open the pump, we do it in half an hour and leave it like day one. Out of that same compartment come 2 more things from the manual: the drain plug, to empty the water inside it around 1.5 liters if it has to sit unused over winter, and the non-return valve, which stops sealing if sand gets into it and makes the pump behave oddly. It gets cleaned or replaced. Both of those mean cutting the power, closing valves, and opening the machine, so we're not going to walk you through them step by step, and don't do them yourself. I'm telling you so you know they exist and that, if it happens to you, it can be fixed and it's cheap. And what we don't do, so there are no surprises, we don't do emergency call-outs. We work by appointment, because we'd rather take our time and do the job properly. If your pump has been throwing warnings and nobody has looked at it in a while, now is a good time. Call us on +34 609 09 8902 or 656 82 7925. Write to info@jslorca.com. Quotes are free and with no obligation. We make these videos ourselves and we publish them for free. To keep them coming, we need your support. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel and put your code in the comments. It costs you nothing, and it is what gets this video to the next person with the same problem. Don't post personal details.